right, meat and bread. Okay, one thing we're gonna do in this stream is we're gonna update the background. We're gonna use some aesthetic backgrounds over here. We had some very interesting conversations today. We had some very interesting experiences. A lot of interesting synthesis. I think that's the most interesting aspect over here. That one of the interesting reasons why you want other smart, let's say just friends, other smart friends, why you want to talk to them a lot is because you could be talking about things. You could be having some patterns. You could be having some ways of thinking, and you could have a bunch of these stories. And a friend who is also smart, they can come and they can synthesize. They can be like, hey, I see a pattern over here. This is how you think, and imagine this. So I think someone helping you create a framework for how you think, how you already do things, how you already think, but maybe you might not have the best way to put that into words, or just help you imagine further. I think that's the beauty of having conversations with other smart people. And ideally, it's not just people, it's just you make them friends, they become your friends, and that changes the game. Okay, we just got a message, or we didn't get a message, but let's say congrats to Ilya. Ilya just sold his company Torch to OpenAI. So amazing work. Congrats, Ilya. Keep going. And this is so interesting. Like over here, we just saw David, I forgot his last name, David Friedberg from All In Podcast. He was talking about how California has this billionaire tax, and the biggest reasoning the guy is giving is that, we need it for health insurance and for paying for Medicaid, stuff like that. I don't know how the US healthcare system works. But now at the same time, we got Ilya over here. Ilya was building this tool that unifies all your health data, puts it into one place, organizes the data. You have all this data, but now what they do is really organize it so you can view it properly. And if you go to a doctor, they can analyze it properly. They can analyze your entire history. And now they were acquired by OpenAI. OpenAI is already the tool that everybody uses. Like when I had this sudden, I don't know how to say it, but when I had that sudden chronic pain in my chest, the first thing I did was I went to OpenAI. I went to ChatGPT. I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, something is happening. Tell me what's happening. I'm worried. And I'm a little worried. And it told me that, hey, just call 911, go to the doctor, and then I go over there, stuff like that. And then ChatGPT is like, hey, specifically look for this, like once you get your report, specifically look for this one thing called troponin. Troponin is the one to understand that if you're having an issue with and if you're having a cardiac issue versus if it's just like a random chest muscle pain. So you are able to learn so much faster, and the more information you have, and the more you are able to not rely on another human, and the more you are able to just be self-independent. That helps you move faster, that makes people more confident, that just reduces a bunch of dependency, and that is really important. So this is really interesting. Like on one side, we are saying that healthcare is really expensive, we gotta pay it, and blah, blah, blah. On the other side, you have the technological solution, which is like, just make it so much better, just make it available to every person that has never been done before, that we reduce the dependency, we make everybody self-sufficient, and we make this entire problem much more handleable. So very interesting stuff. Okay, what do we have over here? Garrett Scott, do anything I've used a chat interface, but we all know this isn't the best for long running agents. On Wednesday, I'm dropping a unique interface option that I think will become our favorite, especially on the all of the interfaces. I'm really surprised. I want to look at this before. I want to look into it, but Garrett Scott was working on Pipe Dream, and Pipe Dream is something around just delivery infrastructure, the last mile delivery infrastructure. And I don't know why he's sharing this. Also, do anything app. See what Pipe Dream Labs making hyperlogistics happen this decade. So this is interesting. Why is he interested in going here? Do anything agents are totally new kind of agent. I'm guessing, here's the guess, that he is actually, this is like AWS. They were using AI agents to make their entire process of workflow inside the company really good. And now what they have done is they have just outsourced, or they have packaged that into a product, and now they're selling it out as a product. So converting their Amazon had a really nice word, converting their cost models or cost models, converting their expense lines. This is a really nice word to say it. Really nice framing to say it. Converting all their expense lines into cost models, expense models to cost models, something like that. Revenue models. Wow. I forgot. What do we have over here? Please shoot out the person and Stripe leading agentic card provisioning. Thought for 5 seconds. Jeff Weinstein. Interesting. Start and run a coffee shop in SF. Unlike other agents that need you to babysit them, do anything agents work completely autonomously to finish your project. Your problem can be small, get me a meeting with Stripe engineer, or very big. Start and run a coffee shop in SF. Start and run a coffee shop in SF, or very big. 100% in the cloud. Our goal is that your do anything agent acts like your best employees in the world do. You can chat with them in our app and website. Let's see. Where can I find the best AI generated images? Hyperreal cinematic or pixels cosplay. Aesthetic that is similar to Perplexity. When I say Perplexity, that reminds me, it seems like they're using Claude, right? They seem to be using Claude. If you onboarded even the best human employee, you still would not give them access to your accounts. The reputation risk is too high, but you would give them lightly associated accounts. This allows agency without risk. Agents are the same way. Its own browser. 3,000 plus app connections. Add many tools and capabilities. In the next few weeks, we will add bank accounts and expense cards requiring approval or a set budget to transact. We'll also be adding agent-side notifications, allowing the agent to set listeners to the app woken up by them. Vision Alpha will compare this agent to 2019 Tesla self-driving. It will get you where you need to go, but every once in a while you might be needed to help. Release notes, do anything for iOS. Lose in your pocket. The full do anything experience is not available on iPhone and iPad. Same powerful capabilities. Beautifully designed for mobile. Start tasks on your phone. Continue them on desktop and get push notifications. Test Lite beta. One-shotting profitable business at 5% efficiency on par with humans. I want each user to have an army of CEOs in their pocket. I like the branding. More real-world tasks will be done by agents than humans. What can I help you with? Find me an apartment. Start and run a business for me. Plan a dream trip to Japan. Build a newsletter. A to-do list that does itself. Interesting. Interesting how it doesn't connect with Google. Whoa. It doesn't want to connect with Google, and it's not in beta, it's alpha. I am really curious what people are responding. What's next to attack in life? As I try to think about what's next to attack in life, James Camp. 2 exist, 1,000 failures, helping companies plus creators scale at smaller headcounts using AI and content. Proud of you, G. This is awesome. This is sick. My agent got stuck in a loop and ate all my credits. DMing you. Talisha White. I tweet what I want and accept the consequences. Love doing anything. Been using it a lot. Congrats on the launch, brother. Epic ship. So what is happening with Pipe Dream? This is from July. 3 big Pipe Dream announcements today. The third is the most ambitious project we attempted. Actually feel I'm delegating tasks as opposed to hovering over how my AI workers execute tasks. Phone call, SMS, its own browser sub-agents, its own email address, its own cloud code, self-redirection, work for days, months, 300 plus app connections. $200 max subscription, improved runway protection, not so small UI fix. Wally, Asian face. That's like Scarface. I can do anything. Oh my god, I can do anything.com. Giga Chat, do anything.com. Do anything.com. Steve Jobs, do anything.com. Do Arduino, doing tin, do anything. Do Drino, Dudington, do anything. Wally, there's two Wally. Page Turner. Cat Wigglesworth. Ichabod Cranium. Skynet. Scott Strang. It actually gets shit done. Interesting. Doing nothing is about to become high status. Wow. Wetware ops. Knowing bottlenecks in biological infrastructure. Wetware ops sounds like the stuff that the COVID labs was doing. Wetware ops, biooptimization for knowledge workers, fix the wetware in the software by mouse mastery. What is this? Neo Westware body. I'm fixing my burnout by treating it like a video game. Vous affichez actuellement la dernière version. Leah Lawson. Add blood work. I hate eating. I hate having to eat. This sucks. IG Reels Friends mode is excellent for deciphering which of your friends secretly hates you, lol. Friends mode. Okay, we don't know what she's talking about. Where do we go? Where did we find this? Minimalist abstract. Ectoplasm. No, we need to find the perplexity. Perplexity aesthetic. Okay, we found something. Let's go. Actually, Pinterest is the best one, right? Because Pinterest can actually find based on the images that you're interested in. Okay, let's make this update right away, because this is beautiful. Boom. Let's go. Now give me how to get Pinterest to find photos or show photos only in landscape mode. WisprFlow is good. You can bend the algorithm pretty reliably. Think of it as teaching Pinterest a taste for wide horizons. Use keyword hacks that bias toward landscape, photography, cinematic, wide angle, cinematic, desktop wallpaper, negative intent by avoidance, not exclusion, conceptual, exhibition print. Switch to desktop oriented queries, desktop background, wall art. Use Google as a Pinterest filter. Wow. Yes, this is really cool, but now give me landscape. Perplexity. Perplexity. Aesthetic. Landscape. Okay, we found one. It's very interesting that Perplexity aesthetic has become a thing. Boom. No, we're getting further from what we want. Surreal art, weird dream, cosmic art. It seems like most of these images were built for so funny. Most of these images were built for portrait mode only, which is crazy. Wow, everything is built for portrait mode. This is cool. Cinematic. Show me some cinematic stuff. Really cool. Wait, is it showing me stuff that I have to rotate? Which would be very interesting. Perplexity aesthetic. This one is really cool. There's always more to learn. There's always more to learn. One thing that I was interested in was internal tech emails. That was pretty cool. So we gotta make a decision. All right, it's 1524, 1526. We gotta hit download. 1526. So find me something. Fuck your sharam. Wow, wow. So aesthetic. Look at this. Look at this one. So aesthetic. Really cool. Okay, this one is good. I think this is what we gotta do. We gotta wait. Alright, let's see if this works. On registry. And let's name it stream. Let's name it stream, and we will update the image right away. Because actually we're not using that much. We're just using the edges. Stream. It didn't go for the entire. Wow. We did hit download, that was good, but we don't have it covering the entire thing, which is a problem. Mac wallpaper aesthetic. I think it did this one, but it didn't really work. Un œil sur lecture. Okay, so this one goes, I guess, stream. Let's go. Go fast. And we gotta make a decision now. So important to make a decision ASAP. Oh my god, this again didn't fit. Okay. That again didn't fit. Why didn't that fit? It's a small image. It's a small image. Amour. No, this one. Let's go. Okay, now suddenly we are seeing a lot of good ones. Okay, let's make a quick decision. Okay, this is cool. This is all linked. So the moment we name it, it will show up. Remplacer. Did this work? It didn't work. Amazing. Wow, this is beautiful. You gotta do Life is Electric. Okay. Let's make this happen. Stream. Boom. Remplacer. And I guess this is all you had to do. And if we go to Twitter, how does this look like? Actually, yeah, that's all we had to do. I don't know why I didn't do that before. Anyways, now we are done. This looks pretty nice. And we'll continue now. Perfect. Pinterest, artsy. Let's see. What if we close this for a bit? And it's beautiful. This is beautiful. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. We'll go. Okay, home still works. Let's go home. Wake up. In 1984 limited edition, classic LS is here. Data has become a bit slow. I don't know what is happening. It's become just a bit slow. I mean, I'd be loved to seeing what the new grad philosophy major I hired to fly drones from a mountain top has automated at Rainmaker with Claude. New grad philosophy major. Wow. Hiring philosophy majors is key. Thank you for showing us philosophy majors love. How would a philosophy major use Claude code? Very interesting question. Let's ask Claude. U-Haul wrapped. U-Haul wrap was amazing. Okay. Why has everything become just a little bit slow? Back at it. How would a philosophy major use Claude code? Let's go. like a soldering iron. They treat it like a fast, literal graduate student who never sleeps and always follows instructions. Turning questions into system. Philosophy trains you to turn fuzzy ideas into precise premises. Clockwork thrives on that. Break a business problem into explicit assumptions. Specify constraints and edge cases before writing a line of code. Ask Claude to implement. I think this is also interesting between a philosopher or someone who is doing philosophy versus someone who is doing business. Like, when you do philosophy, the problem is without real contact with the world, your philosophy doesn't make sense. You cannot just philosophize. You have to have real contact with the world. You have to go through the struggle in order to create your philosophy. Otherwise, these won't make sense. They are just words. Explicit assumptions. Specify constraints and edge cases before writing a line of code. Ask Claude to implement a system that enforces those assumptions. Write a classifier that labels incoming text accordingly, prompting as formal argument. Is closer to writing a syllogism than vibes-based hacking. Defining terms upfront, stating goals, non-goals, and failure modes, iteratively refining instructions when outputs violate premises. This output contradicts condition 3, revise implementation to preserve it. Automating judgment-heavy work. Interesting. Reviewing documents for internal consistency, turning messy. By the way, I think, should we move our desk a bit back? Maybe we'll do that as well. Automating judgment-heavy work, reviewing documents for internal consistency. Policy analysis pipelines, research summarization with explicit epistemic confidence. Decision trees that surface trade-offs instead of hiding them. Claude handles execution, the human handles meaning. Meta, reasoning, and critique. Philosophy majors usually good at asking, what is the system actually optimizing for? Where does this break under adversarial inputs? What assumptions are silently embedded here? Simulate counterexamples, stress test for workflows. Thinking becomes much more important. So what it's basically saying is that strong, coherent thinking becomes more important than just the act of typing code. Becomes important. Thinking becomes important than just the act of typing code. Thinking becomes important than the act of just typing code. Thinking becomes more important than just the act of typing code. Thinking. Oh. Just the act of typing code. Oh? Okay. Enregistré. Why this works. Collapse the distance between thinking clearly and building systems so we no longer need years of syntax memorization. Thinking clearly over this is better. Yeah, this is the real one. So the advantage shifts to clarity of thought, writing code. Clarity of thought, thinking clearly, writing code. Actually, I should have written that. Thinking clearly, writing code. Thinking clearly, writing code. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Thank you, Atlas. Boom. Supprime. Alright, let's see. What else do we have? I'm on the Cloud Code team, and we have heard so much good feedback from the community. We are all in on DXY to prioritize speed, responsiveness, flexibility, integrations. What's the biggest thing still missing for your workflow? What an absolutely incredible exchange to witness. Elon, I love you, and I think overall you try to do the right thing. Going from that makes it like you went from need to stop being so utterly genocentric. Start controlling your biology and stop willingly enslaving yourself to females through bad decisions who you procreate with and put into positions of power. Ooh, that being said, like, don't need to stop being so utterly genocentric and start controlling your biology and stop willingly enslaving yourself to females through bad decisions. Wow. Okay, very funny. Welcome home to a new residence.
It's moving day as a resident, and you know what that means? New faces, new ideas, new problems to solve. And that's exciting because for a lot of these states, this is the first time you get to go all in. For once, they get partner. Someone back. Someone saying your ideas work there. And that's us.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and I'm from Washington, D.C., and I live in SF2.
I'm Robin. I'm coming from Berlin, Germany. I'm living in a biopunk house and I'm making organs.
I'm Salvi. I'm from Bangalore, India, and I'm doing deep fake detection for audio and shit.
90 kids from all over the world just moved into all 5 of our signature residencies here in SF. And for the next 90 days, it's then, I get so well. This winter art is going to be unreal. Welcome to Chapter 7. There's actually no winter in SF. Like, why did I even say that?
Really cool. Very generational. Beautiful place to be, beautiful place to go. We're so back. Hosting a private movie screening of The Social Network. Corey. Q&A with an early Facebook employee who worked with Zuck when he was 22. Really cool. New Year New Space kicking off our biggest program to date, Artifact. It's not hours a day, it's impact per day. Very cool.
Sleeping on my car. Do you want to see my setup? Sure. No, it's not crazy, but can I get you some food or something? No, it's all good. So eventually I want to write a little playbook for founders and SF to navigate car camping a little bit. But like where to park, where to take showers, where to get free meals if you want free meals. It's like nothing. Let's be honest, man. You gotta feel something about Australia. And also like, dudes, I gotta live in my car. I was starting to, welcome to my little humble abode. So we have these giant robots, right? And so I'm always in the vineyards like doing field deployments with our robots. Right. So like half my time is spent in the vineyards. It's hard for me to just find getting an apartment for myself. You come over here, I have like a small eco-flow, and then my closet is normally the front. Nothing's at the front right now. Normally I put all of my robot battery. Oh, here it's working. Yeah. I thought I was minimalist. This dude is just crushing it.
Jonathan Moon.
So, I don't know if Peter told you.
Building farming robots. Building farming robots. Founders Inc. Google X. AWS Cornell. Wow. Jonathan Moon, NSF founder, lives out of his car. The level these founders operate at is like nothing I've ever seen. Will Phillips. Angel investor capturing stories behind the scenes with founders and VCs globally. New Silicon Valley YouTube episode out now. Will Phillips. Okay. Congrats on making it into F-Dot Inc. Ruslan. Write checks, type shit. This guy's well different. Okay. That we didn't apply to YC instead. We stood on the sign for a hot minute and helped 3 YC companies produce their launch videos. Building future tech media, podcasting, clipping, influencer marketing, AS Studio, Atomic Growth, Really cool. Okay, Daniel lit. Should we consider quite rude in most contexts to post or send someone a wall of 100% AI generated text? Here, read this thing. I didn't care enough about to express myself. Posting AI word slop is fundamentally disrespectful. We're implying the person's time is worth so little that they should read something you couldn't be bothered to write, and you were assuming they are so dumb that they wouldn't notice. Interesting. What if we can go from one real-time conversation for a slide deck, website, or social media collateral all in one flow? Meeting minutes, in-person discussions into structured notes. A new feature transforms your in-person discussions into structured notes you can act on immediately. Available today for all Manus users, bro. Where the fuck did Tech Twitter go? I'm still working on OpenCut. Forcing myself to work out on MediaPipe, Computer Vision, 3JS, and Gemini 3 code and line demo available if you want to join my pain. Okay. This is 3D. Really cool. Raise, flap. Really cool. Experiments in computer vision, gaming, animation, fun with computervision.com. This is really cool. Also, it's very interesting. Someone just today shared how they ran a UGC program, it's actually WisprFlow. So it's how they ran the UGC program, how they achieved 500 million views in about 60 days, something like that. And it was very interesting because the guy was like, what we truly do is we have all these influencers and we basically, number one, focus on, okay, what are the key features? So for WisprFlow, it's that, okay, even if you say a word that is very complicated, like let's say Russian name like Mihai, the author of Flow, Mihai Michalski, something like that. And WisprFlow would actually get that right, would actually spell that right with all the TCH that are silent. So they give this idea, they give this one key feature which they want the creators to highlight to all these guys, and they're like, okay, now you have total freedom however you want to do it. You want to, whatever location you're going to choose, however the format you want to use, the camera angles, whatever you're going to do, however you want to plug that into your content. And then they're like, okay, then we send to our 60 creators who are top creators, and then the one which actually hits 1 million views in less than a day, we take that video, we send to the rest, whatever, 59, 69 other creators to go and copy that exact format because this worked. And I thought that was pretty cool. Like, sometimes you don't have to be really creative. If something is working, go and copy that. So that was pretty cool. I get my news from Psyop Anime. I know you're tired, but come, this is the way. What is happening? What is happening? Huge thanks to the real ones on the back channels that made this possible. Absolute cinema. X. Oh my god. This is so cool. I think I've watched to become one of the first UGI creators, showing how this tech allows you to do something that is just not possible traditionally. Create along the news in real time. Explain this and if it's good. Satirical anime style video from Psyop Anime, blending apocalyptic themes like zombies, WWE and global chaos scenes in Ukraine Pentagon with dramatic narration. It's meme, news, over the top and ironic. Good if you enjoy dark humor and creative animation, visually striking but not serious journalism. Thank you, Grok, for your insights. Wow. Absolute cinema. We're in the glow. We are the media now. Aiden Go. We are the generational movement. This goes unbelievably hard. Oh my god, everybody speaking, what is this? Anime is Japanese or Korean? I don't know. Actually, I should know. Okay. Is Japanese, sorry. Is anime Korean or Japanese? What language is it? Japanese animation. Oh my god. 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 This is really cool. He chose the office. He chose the role. We are Jerome Powell. We carry the line, not to a man, but to law and time. Oh my god. Oh my god. We are Jerome. Amazing. The best time to make content is when no one cares.
No one cares. Your biggest adversary, your biggest opponent is not someone who hates you or is like going to distort your message. Your biggest opponent is that no one knows you. If you're going to start a regular service business or you just have a project and you want to post about it, give it a shot. Send it to people you know via DMs. Post it across platforms. And if you do all that and it doesn't work, naturally you can just do it again.
Made with
Genuinely the best possible
Yeah, this guy got a nice view, and he's using that view, building the missing piece of video storytelling. Join Odyssey. Build space, not from Waterloo. Whoa. Wow. Danco's article is being This is amazing. All new subscribers can now publish articles, long form writing works on X. Try it out and build your following. This is amazing, Danco. Danco has made hits after hits, and he's getting the recognition. I think he has made these 2 articles, and they're really good. They're really good. Wow. Ryan Armstrong, Toby, Brian Chesky. You're famous, Danco. Notes to myself. Building Eden.so. It is so good that you had to use a video to announce it instead of an article. Or very useful classical piece writers coming from newspapers and the like. The Euromaxing manifesto. Really cool. Really cool. I wrote a second book, a short and philosophical take on money and discovering our life's work. I made it free because it is one of those things I just want in as many hands as possible. Give me key takeaways of Danco's latest book, Purpose and Profit. Crisp strategic breakdown. Let's go. Purpose and profit. Purpose isn't something you find, it's something you build. Traditional method purpose is pre-existing. Purpose emerges through discipline, action, problem solving, and contribution. Try thinking of purpose as a byproduct of work, not a spark you wait for. Purpose and profit are not opposites. Eyes to see. Under 10 years of living it. Rather than seeing money as dirty or meaning as pure, insist you can merge purpose with profit. Doing so is essential in a world where money buys freedom, resources, and capacity to do meaningful work. His view reframes money as a tool for creation and impact, not just consumption. The world has shifted. Entrepreneurship is the new operating system. Business ownership, but as an ongoing mindset of agency, solving real problems, iterating constantly, creating value for others. This mindset is useful. Yes. Iterating constantly is so important. Let's see. Can I update apropos the mech? Yes, we have a system update to go for, but before that we'll go for say I quitté apropos the mech. Mech is also okay. Wall papier. Bro, what is happening? Why is it so slow? Annulé. Réglage système. Okay. Open. Parfait. Apparence. Écran. Fond d'écran. Parfait. Fond d'écran. Et économiser. Ajouter une photo. Choisis le fichier. Apparence de l'horloge. Stream JPG. Ouvrir. And it's here. Parfait. If I hide this. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Oui, c'est incroyable. D'accord. Alright, a lot of texture going on, a lot of lighting going on. Parfait. Okay. Solving real problems, iterating constantly, creating value for others. This mindset is useful whether you start a company, freelance, create content, innovate within a team. Deep generalism over narrow specialization, rather than niche hyper specialization. Champions deep generalism, becoming competent across a set of complementary skill set that you connect dots other people can now. This makes you more adaptable and uniquely valuable in a fast changing economy. monetize your knowledge and scale it. Having knowledge and packaging it into revenue producing products or services. Courses, coaching, newsletters, digital products. These become systems that generate recurring income, free up your time, expand your impact. This isn't hustle for hustle's sake, it's about structuring repeatable value creation. Financial freedom is control, not status. Reframes wealth not as a number, but as control over your time and creative choices. Real financial autonomy lets you work on projects that matter because you choose to, not because you have to. Contribution comes out of mastery. Once you achieve stability in systems that work, the highest expression of purpose and profit is contribution. Use your skills and resources to help others. Amplify collective meaning, not working for money, but working through money for impact. Start with problems, not passion. Focus on problems worth solving for real people. Passion often follows competence. Build systems, not side projects. Treat what you create as repeatable value flows, not one-off experiments. Iterate in public, ship early and often. Your audience becomes your feedback engine. Use money as a creative lever. Don't bury purpose in an anti-profit dogma. Use profit to expand what you can create and contribute. Job feels unstable. AI and automation redefine work. People seek agency more than validation. People shift from passive pursuit of alignment to active design of a life worth living. How to rewire your brain and get anything. Machina. AI-powered agencies. He's running agencies. He's not running an agency. He's running agencies. Get anything you want from life. 5K, 1 million, and posted 7 hours ago. Wow. Wait, it's already 12th January? This is crazy. Okay. It's already 12th January. Okay. If you have multiple interests, and he just posted another hit, 9 million views over here. If you have multiple interests, do not waste the next 2 to 3 years. What is he doing? Okay. If you are so smart, why are you broke? Wow, he started the year with hits. The deeper you fall into a rut, the more fuel you have to launch out of it, but also the more excuses you have to stay the same. It is important. It's very important that you see through your own bullshit and choose the first option. The greatest focus hack is to know what you're working on, why you're working on it, when it needs to be done, and how exactly to get it done. Don't let anyone convince you that you should narrow your focus. You may be confused for a while, but if you stick it out, you will blow past everyone else. If you work so that you never have to work again, you will be disappointed when retirement leaves you feeling empty. Find work that you would do after retirement as early as you can, and you will never feel the need to retire. Don't try to learn the best new skills. Build your own thing. Try to sell it. Fail over and over again. Learn what it means to adapt and iterate. Remove your dependency from others and hunt for your own survival. You will learn the exact skills you need, and you will learn them better than anyone else. Don't try to learn the best new skills. Build your own thing. Try to sell it. Fail over and over again. Learn what it means to adapt and iterate. AI is a skill, just like any other, and the usefulness of AI increases as you get better at it. The first time you play a guitar, you literally can't do anything. You sound like shit. But you slowly get better. You can play more songs. You enjoy it much more. We were made to think that AI would just solve all the problems and do everything for us. So people were disappointed when it didn't do those things. But if you actually try to learn it, and you will see how helpful it can be. That sounds like a cop-out, but it's silly to think that AI is just going to solve all your problems out of the box. If you don't use it for an extended period of time, then you'll not be able to get the best results with it. It won't remove all of your work. If you don't want it to, spending more time working because it's fun. It'll give you a deeper, more enjoyable way of doing what you already do. You abstract out a layer from physical labor to mental labor. You spend more time in the realm of ideas and tastes. It starts to feel more like a game or puzzle than it does work. You have to be okay with moving from doing the manual grunt work of writing lines of code approach to discerning whether or not it sounds like you want it to sound. I don't think anyone aside from other writers who haven't detached from the labor would argue that hiring a ghostwriter is cheating. The end readers still love it. He's still in control of the plot vision and what actually gets published. Nobody would argue that the director of a film doesn't deserve praise because he's not manually filming it or building the set. There is going to be, and there already is, so much pushback on AI for valid reasons, but most of these reasons are psychological defense mechanisms, tying you to how you have identified yourself with how you work. AI doesn't have to be a religion. You don't have to use it for everything, but I do think it's a wise idea to willingly choose a side that is going to lose. You don't achieve the life you want, then become the successful person. You become the person first, which looks cringe until it becomes normal, and success eventually catches up to you. You choose the character you want to play, and only then do the right quest. Do the right quest appear. The fastest way to challenge. Wait, so you already posted this? This time he just posted on X article. And maybe X hit it. Wow. Okay, something has happened over here. Something interesting happened over here. Wow. That's a long one. Wow, what a life-changing read. Thanks, Jan. We're always forcing on trends, man. Allowed to see it. It's not a trend. I like writing long form so much more than short form. No idea how I hadn't come across your articles earlier, but I'm pretty sure there's a reason for that. But I'm so happy that I come across you now. This is really cool because he is doing exactly. Yeah, like X is actually pushing his article. So they actually went after long form writers and they were like, hey, go write your X article. We will also push it into the feed and help people find you. This is amazing. This is actually amazing what X is doing. Really cool. If you're anything like me, you think New Year's resolutions are stupid because most people go about changing their lives in a completely wrong way. We create superficial meaning out of status games, but they don't meet the requirements for true change, which goes a lot deeper than convincing us that we're going to be more disciplined or productive this year. If you are one of these people, I'm not here to talk you down. I'm a bit harsh in my writing. I've quit 10x more goals than I've achieved. That should be the case for most people, but the fact that people try to change their lives or utterly fail almost every time holds true. As much as I think New Year's resolution is stupid, it's always wise to reflect on the life you hate so you can launch yourself towards something that much better, as we will discuss. So whether you want to start the business, transform your body, or take the risk toward a more meaningful life without quitting after 2 weeks, I want to share 7 ideas you probably haven't heard before on behavior change, psychology, and productivity, so you can just do that in 2026. This will be comprehensive, that you read through and forget about. There's something you will want to bookmark, take notes on, set aside time to think about. The protocol at the end. Dig deep into your psyche and uncover what you truly want in life. Let's take about a full day to complete, with effects that last far longer than that. Let's begin. You aren't where you want to be because you aren't the person who would be there. You aren't where you want to be because you aren't the person who would be there. When it comes to setting big goals, wow. Okay. When it comes to setting big goals, people tend to focus on one of the 2 requirements for success: changing your actions to make progress toward the goal. Least important, second order. Changing who you are so that your behavior naturally follows. Most important, first order. Changing your actions to make progress toward the goal. Changing who you are so that your behavior naturally follows. Most people set a surface level goal, hype themselves up to remain disciplined for the first few weeks, then go back to their old ways without much struggle because they were trying to build a great life on a rotting foundation. If this doesn't make sense, let's run through an example. Think of somebody successful. Bodybuilder with a great physique, a founder CEO worth hundreds of millions, or a charismatic dude who would chat up a group without a shred of anxiety entering his mind. Do you think the bodybuilder has to grind to eat healthy? Does the CEO have to discipline themselves to show up and lead the team? To you, it may seem like that on the surface, but the truth is that they can't see themselves living any other way. The bodybuilder has to grind to eat unhealthily. The CEO has to force themselves to lie in bed past their alarm clock and they hate every second of it. There is nuance here. Just entertain me for a second. Okay, I'll grab water. All right, let's go. To some people, my own lifestyle seems a bit extreme and disciplined. To me, it's natural. I don't say that to contrast it with any other kind of lifestyle. I simply enjoy living this way. When my mom tells me that I should take a break, go out and have some fun, I hold my tongue from telling her. If I weren't having fun, why would I be doing what I'm doing? This next sentence may sound simple, but it's baffling how many people don't get it. If you want a specific outcome in life, you must have the lifestyle that creates that outcome long before you reach it. If someone says they want to lose 30 pounds, I often don't believe them. Not because I don't think they are capable, but because there are too many times when that same person says, I can't wait until I'm done losing weight so I can start to enjoy life again. Wow. I hate to break it to you, but if you don't adopt the lifestyle that led to you losing the weight, I hate to break it to you, but if you don't adopt the lifestyle that led to you losing the weight for life and find a reason with a higher gravitational pull than the one tying you to your previous ways, then you will go straight back to where you started. I hate to break it to you, but if you don't adopt the lifestyle that led to you losing the weight for life and find a reason with a higher gravitational pull than the one tying you to your previous ways, then you will go straight back to where you started, and you can unhappily say that you wasted the resource you will never get back, time. When you truly change yourself, all your habits that don't move the needle toward your goal become disgusting, because you have a deep and profound awareness of what kind of life those actions compound into. You are okay with your current standards because you're not fully aware of what they are or what they lead to. We will discuss how to uncover this, but we need to build up to that. You're okay with your current standards because you're not fully aware of what they are or what they lead to. You say you want to change, you say you want to become financially free and get healthy, but your actions show otherwise for a reason, and it goes a lot deeper than you think. You aren't where you want to be because you don't want to be there. You aren't where you want to be because you don't want to be there. You say you want to change, you say you want to become financially free and get healthy, but your actions show otherwise for a reason, and it goes a lot deeper than you think. All your habits that don't move the needle toward your goal become disgusting because you have a deep and profound awareness of what kind of life those actions compound into. You are okay with your current standards because you are not fully aware of what they are or what they lead to. We will discuss how to uncover this. We need to build up to that. You aren't where you want to be because you don't want to be there. Trust only movement. Life happens at the level of events, not of words. Trust movement. Alfred Adler. Alfred Adler, that seems to be like the guy behind Mercedes, right? Who is this guy? What? No. It didn't work. Alfred Adler. Who is Alfred Adler? Oh, Austrian psychologist. Yeah, Danko did talk about this. Okay. One of the three founding figures of depth psychology alongside Freud and Jung. Okay. We found the third spoke in the wheel. So we went deep into Carl Jung, the entire concept of individualism. I don't think we looked into Freud, but I think I wasn't attracted to the Freud thing, but I think now this is very interesting. So Jung talks about integrating the shadow and individualism. Freud talks more from a rational perspective. I forgot what the exact idea was, but now we have the third spoke. We got the third musketeer, let's say. Broke Freud broke from Freud early, where Freud obsessed over past trauma and saying that Adler focused on direction, not what happened to you, but where you were trying to go. His psychology is teleological. Human behavior is goal-oriented. People are not pushed by the past as much as they are pulled by imagined futures. Wow. People are not pushed by the... It's crazy. This is all reframing. I think all this is super helpful. I was just thinking about this today, that you got to build foundations, because what is happening is that everything is one. It's not, you are not compartmentalized into your work self, your friend self, your social self, your home self, your hobby self. No, it's all one, and you just happen to do all these things. So it's very interesting. So, and I was talking to someone today, and I felt the same thing. It's not, I'm really pulled by what is possible rather than trying to run away from something. I'm really excited about where we are going than trying to run away from something. No, that's not it. So this is really cool. People are not pushed by the past as much as they are pulled by imagined futures. This core idea is cleanly framed. Behavior is purposeful. We act to achieve psychological goals, often unconsciously. Procrastination, avoidance, overachievement, not flaws, strategies. Inferiority, striving. Everyone starts with feelings of inferiority. Healthy response, growth and contribution. Unhealthy response, compensation, status gains, domination. Growth and contribution. Exactly. Contribution. After a while, you just feel like what is truly important is contribution. Are you contributing to the society? That's it. That makes you feel good about your work. This idea later got misquoted into inferiority complex, but Adler meant something subtler. Inferiority is fuel. Lifestyle shapes behavior, but by early adulthood, people form a lifestyle, not habits, but a coherent identity strategy for navigating the world. Change the lifestyle, behavior follows. Try to change behavior alone, relapse is almost guaranteed. Sound familiar? That's why Dan Cohen, Aval, and modern creators echo Adler. Yes, environment. Change the entire environment. Social interest. Oh my god, why is this? J. Mineshaft. Alright. Anyways, mental health is an isolation or self-obsession. It's the ability to contribute meaningfully to others. For Adler, a good life, agency, belonging, contribution. Wow. Agency. The fact that you can go and change. Belonging. You feel like you're part of something. Contribution. You are contributing. You are playing a role. You are contributing. You're using your agency and you're contributing to this community. Courage over comfort. Neurosis isn't weakness. It's lack of courage to face uncertainty. People choose safe misery over risky growth because it protects identity. Why he keeps showing up in modern writing. When you see ideas like identity precedes habits, you're not lazy, you're protecting something. Goals shape perception. Stop asking what you want, ask what you are avoiding. That's Adler wearing contemporary clothes. Dan Coe quoting Adler is an accidental. Coe's work is basically Adlerian psychology translated into the internet age with systems, leverage, and entrepreneurship layered on top. Wow. Top quotes from Alfred Adler. Go GPT. Let's go. What do we have? The individual psychology of Alfred Adler. Distilled for clarity and punch. These are the lines that keep resurfacing in modern psychology, creator culture, and writers like Dan Coe. Agency, purpose, identity. Trust only movement. Life happens at the level of events, not of words. Identity is revealed by behavior, not intention. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. Safety can quietly become a lifelong cage. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. I need my cloud code. Where's my cloud code? Where are my artifacts? Your artifacts. And where's my quiet codes? Right here, quiet codes. And And we will add this one. Alfred Adler, add quote. Parfait, published. Copy link. Paste. We actually need quite quotes. Yes, we need quite quotes. Epingley quite quotes. This is what we need. And Claude. What's the one which we don't use? Whoa, create a photo of a monk in Bhutan as an Instagram influencer. Wow. Really cool. Bhutan life, monk life. Bhutan life, monk life. Okay, we will remove X because we anyways use X a lot. So, quite quotes. How do we refresh? Content is user generated and unverified. Picasso, inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. Carl Jung, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Where is... Whoa. Where's my guy? The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. And it's not updated over here. So what we gotta do is we gotta unpublish. And then we gotta republish. This is kind of weird, but this artifact was previously unpublished. Create a new artifact to publish again. Clear storage. The best art is the most personal. The best art is the most personal. And this is gone. Okay. This is the sidebar. Okay. Show me the artifact. This is version 10. We'll go to the latest version. And now copy. This artifact was previously unpublished. Create a new artifact, publish again. Inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. I don't think that people are looking for the meaning of life as much as they are looking for the experience of being alive. So if you go to artifact, will it not show anymore? Direct quotes. It will show. Yeah, I don't know. We don't understand how this works, but anyways, we'll go back. Okay. The chief danger in life is that you take too many precautions. It is easier to fight for one's principles than to live up to them. It is easier to fight for one's principles than to live. Easier to fight. Dismantles moral posturing in one stroke. Easier to fight than to live up to them. Meanings are not determined by situations, but we determine ourselves by the meanings we give to situations. Meanings are not determined by situations, but we determine ourselves by the meaning we give to situations. The only normal people are the ones you don't know very well. Struggle is universal, not pathological. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Simple but deeply Adlerian. Behavior follows direction. We are not determined. A goal without a plan is just a wish. We are not determined by our experiences, but by the meaning we give to them. We are not determined by our experiences, but by the meaning we give to them. One of the clearest expressions of teleological psychology. To be human is to feel inferior. Inferiority isn't a defect, it's the engine. To be human is to feel inferior. Courage is the willingness to engage with uncertainty. I like that. I like that. Courage is the willingness to engage with uncertainty. Neurosis, in Adler's view, is the avoidance of this. The greater the inferiority feeling, the higher the goal of personal power. The greater the inferiority feeling, the higher the goal of personal power. Ambition, status seeking, and overcompensation in one sentence. The greater the inferiority feeling, the higher the goal of personal power. Wow. To be human is to feel inferior. This is a good one. This is a really good one. Quote text. Alfred Adler, go. Claude Shannon, I ain't scared of nothing. Let's go, Claude Shannon. Unknown, life is the art of drawing without an eraser. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. The greater the inferiority feeling, the higher the goal of personal power. So this one we'll keep for direct quotes, for our quotes. And then we got Gemini, we got Grok. We'll keep working with Grok. Okay. Courage is the willingness to engage with uncertainty. The greater the inferiority feeling, the higher the goal of personal power. Social life and contribution. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. Isolation or trauma is the root of most suffering. Isolation. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. Mental health is the ability to contribute, not happiness, not comfort, contribution. Mental health is the ability to contribute. This is a good one. Alfred Adler, go. Identity and self-deception. A lie would have no sense unless the truth were felt as dangerous. Why people cling to illusions that harm them. People do not suffer from facts, but from their interpretations of facts. Wow. Identity precedes habits. You're not lazy, you're protecting something. Your future goals shape your present here. Okay, this was a good rabbit hole, good side hole. Weird, but okay. If you want to change who you are, you must understand how the mind works so that you can start to reprogram them or reprogram it. If you want to change who you are, you must understand how the mind works. If you want to change who you are, you must understand how the mind works so that you can start to reprogram it. I think the first, for me, this French thing was very interesting because with French, you clearly started to understand that this brain is actually something, a tool that you can train. You start thinking about brain as a tool that you can train, you can program, and that I thought that was very interesting. The first step to understanding the mind is to understand that all behavior is goal-oriented. It's teleological. When you think about it, this is kind of obvious, but when you dig into it, most people don't want to hear it. You take a step forward because you want to reach a certain location. You scratch your nose because you want to make the itch go away. Teleological. Those ones are clear, but most of the time your goals are unconscious. You may not realize that when you sit on the couch in the middle of the day, you're trying to burn time before your next responsibility, as one simple example. On an even more unconscious and complex level, you pursue goals that can harm you, but you justify your actions in a way that is socially acceptable and doesn't make you seem like a loser. On an even more unconscious and complex level, you pursue goals You scratch your nose because you want to make the itch go away. Those ones are clear, but most of the time your goals are unconscious. You may not realize that when you sit on the couch in the middle of the day, you are trying to burn time before your next responsibility. As one simple example, on an even more unconscious and complex level, you pursue goals that can harm you, but you justify your actions in a way that is socially acceptable and doesn't make you seem like a loser. As an example, if you can't stop procrastinating your work, you can justify it with the fact that you lack discipline, but in reality, you're attempting to achieve a goal like you always are. In this case, that goal could be to protect yourself from the judgment that comes from finishing and sharing your work. If you say you want to quit your dead-end job but stay in it without any real reason, you may start to think that you don't have enough courage or that you were never really a risk taker. But the truth is that you are pursuing the goal of safety, predictability, and an excuse to not look like a failure to everyone else in your life who sees working a dead-end job as a sign of success. Wow. 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 I don't know what is better over here. Is it X or is it Danko? I think it's the combination of both. Danko already had these thoughts, but suddenly now he's writing them in a really structured way. X always had articles, or X always had good tweets, but now they actually are really pushing for X articles somehow. So this is really cool what is happening. We're seeing a lot of interesting things come together. X opening up articles and Danko going deep into things, because I feel even for Danko, he'd never got the same sort of engagement on Substack. But now he's getting that engagement, so he's actually going deeper into his work. And X, they also realized that, hey, there's a lot of good stuff that could be shared over here straight. Why do we have to rely on Substack? Whoa, keyboard shortcuts. Search chats. Command K. Open new chat. I forgot what is that button. I think that's enter. Copy last code block. Next message. Previous message. Delete chat. Focus chat input. Add photos and files. Show shortcuts. Set custom instructions. It's pretty cool. Merci. I forgot what I was going to ask. But this is really cool. Yes, this is what we want. More and more efficiency. We are moving towards more and more efficiency. Slowly, more and more efficiency. But okay. Oh no. What did I do? It's this, yes. If you can't stop procrastinating your work, you can justify it with the fact that you lack discipline, when in reality you're attempting to achieve a goal like you always are. Protect yourself from the judgment. If you say you want to quit your dead-end job but stay in it without any real reason, you may start to think you don't have enough courage or that you were never really a risk taker. But the truth is that you are pursuing the goal of safety, predictability, and an excuse to not look like a failure to everyone else in your life who sees working a dead-end job as a sign of success. The lesson here is that real change requires changing your goals. I don't mean setting some surface level goal because the act of doing that serves an unconscious goal that is actually harming you. I don't mean setting some surface level goal because the act of doing that serves an unconscious goal that is actually harming you. That's been ran through enough in the productivity space. I mean changing your point of view, because that's what a goal is. A goal is a projection into the future that acts as a lens of perception, which allows you to notice information, ideas, and resources that aid in you achieving the goal. Now let's dig a bit deeper. By the way, while I'm doing this, I just came up with a question. We need to be able to call all these guys quickly. Claude, Gemini, what is happening? Désactiver les fonds. Fermé, yes. What is the latest update on Tesla self-driving system? Think harder. FSJ computer. V14, especially with the latest point release. December 25. Significant improvements. Refined speed profiles. Artificial caps. Lane change confidence. Better speed lane recognition. Smoother driving. Natural handling of complex scenarios. Reduced interventions in the urban suburban environments. Early implementations of reasoning capabilities confirmed by reasoning capabilities. Ashok Swami, particularly for dynamic situations like construction detours, parking choices, paving the way for more advanced decision making and future updates. Sentient in many situations with impressive smoothness on hardware 4 vehicles. Best level 2 driver assistance systems available today with reports of thousands of intervention-free miles in real-world testing. Challenging scenarios, community shared drives and tests, illustrate smooth handling in urban and highway conditions. Complimentary trial features including speed profiles for all options for eligible vehicles. Once version 14.2 was later installed, check your Tesla app or vehicle notifications. Unsupervised autonomy, no driver attention required for robotaxis and the cyber cab. Accumulated over 7 billion miles on FSD with billions in city driving. Elon stated 10 billion miles of data needed for superhuman safety levels in unsupervised mode. Could be reached around mid-2026 through training validation will add time. Wheezing enhancements are already partially in 14.2 with more expected. Wow. Do they have a Cybercab account? Cybercab? No. Do they have an FSG account? Tesla FSG. FSG 3 was made 2025. Model 3 was able to now complete its record 12,000 consecutive miles in a row without any disengagement, takeovers, red hands. 100% self-driving since V14.2. Wow. Parking, charging stops to Tesla superchargers. To sum it up, I haven't touched the wheel since late November, where I was in Raleigh, NC, and it has taken me to Miami, then all the way home to Seattle, then non-Tesla diner in Hollywood, to all the way across the country, first verified coast-to-coast drive, finishing in SC, and now all the way to Fort Wayne, Indiana. Crazy, wild. Look, ma, no hands. Legendary Chinese investor Duan, Chinese Buffett and godfather of value investing, began investing in Tesla last month after personally experiencing FSG. Duan commands a massive following in China, and his investment moves are often closely watched by his followers. Tesla, I'm back. Whoa. Green Hills software CEO and founder of the Dawn Project. I am running a campaign to make computers safe for humanity and ban Tesla full self-driving. What? I think if you go with that goal, then you are definitely increases safety significantly. Whoa. Tell that to this driver whose total Tesla has to be dragged away by a tow truck. FSD is dangerous and should be banned. Crash in the rain, totaling the car. Proof that FSD was engaged. A cup that's 99% full looks empty. Correct. When developing a safety critical system, your work is only just getting started. When you reach reliability level 99% of your car's braking software, you'll be dead within a week. That's an empty cup. disengaged FSG to attempt a counter steer. Wow. Dash, I like this one. This has nothing to do with camera's experience or knowledge. You set FSG to 75. It's gonna do it. 75. Yeah, really curious how I will never buy a car without David Moss, 26, 28. What? This guy's 28? 11,000 miles in his Tesla without touching the steering once by using FSG.
Tesla's, it's hard and all the time. I don't know.
Interesting. Tesla, FSG, Elon. What was the latest thing he said? No safety monitor with him sitting in the passenger seat, taking him all on Austin perfectly unsupervised. FSG is really coming super soon. Getting delayed yet again. Roughly 10 million miles of training data is needed to achieve safe, unsupervised self-driving. Reality has a super long tail of complexity. Unsupervised FSG has been solved. Operating in Austin without anyone in the passenger seat in about 3 weeks. Releasing larger model size in January or February that will include chain of thought reasoning. Wow. Unsupervised FSG will be released by year end to the personal Tesla fleet in certain cities. We will send your car to pick someone up, sleep, play video games, watch videos, eventually add your personal car to the Robotaxi fleet to earn income if found, and you will be back time in a way not possible before. It will make FSG incredibly more valuable. Wow, I like the cover. It's so interesting. Elon would be like, there's so many people over here just watching us shake hands. How life like V3 is going to be. Black headliner in the Model Y looks so good. What is a black headliner? I don't know.
It's Linux based, but we've written
It's also something you want to do unless we have to. If Apple and Google started doing really bad things like censorship of apps or being like gatekeepers in a really bad way, we would make a phone.
massive amount of software on top of that. So, like, probably Tesla's in a better position to create a phone that's my Android or iPhone than maybe any company in the world. But it's not something we want to do unless we have to or something. What would be the situation where you would have to? Well, I think if Apple and Google / Android start doing really bad things like, I don't know, censorship of apps or I don't know, just treating people that just being like gatekeepers, that in a really bad way, then I guess we're making fun.
The Model Y performance is so much fun in the snow. virtual 16-inch QHD screen from the new Model Y Performance into his Model 3. It was plug and play. Intelligence is sexy. The cab. Tesla is testing Cybercab in Chicago as well. Cybercab has been seeing testing in Austin, Bay Area, Buffalo, New York, Chicago, Illinois. Engineering teams are working hard. Wow. Standard production in Giga, Texas is ramping. Tesla Model Y standard production. Ramping back up for a full work week today. I did a top-down view of Model X's exiting the Model Y's exiting factory, showing the new procedure of employees driving them down to the ramp and then autonomously over to the EOL facility. Many more Model Y standards are being stored on. Yeah, crazy. They get out and then it's like, just go. You just go. Yeah, why would they close it? Diner is doing great. X Cafe in Dubai. What? I'd love to visit Dubai one day. My favorite part are the takeout boxes. Oh yeah, takeout boxes are Cybertrucks. We're seeing today the beams. What is happening? These are the beams. This reminds me of me assembling my IKEA bed frame. They're just doing the same thing but on a massive scale, but with machines, but with caterpillar rovers, whatever you call them, caterpillar machines, or whatever this is, cat machines. Yeah. Oh wow, they have Ford. They have the new electric Ford trucks over here. The construction guys are using electric Ford trucks. Third megabag being installed to support Cortex-2 and W slide of the facility, along with more platform spears and conduit. Tesla US so far ahead of anything else. So cool how your Tesla automatically knows when you arrive at a car wash. Enable car wash mode easily. Zero to 60 in 2 seconds. Geely autonomously drifting in this now. Geely, whoa. Geely is the parent company of Volvo. Oh my god, I think they're playing with it. Wait, what is this? Oh my god. Someone here on Cybercab Robotaxi in the near future. I think everyone will want one when orders are inevitably open to the public. Everyone has to show once one public queue, source, Twitter, or Reddit. Interesting. Okay. Dan Kirby missed you. Alright, let's go back. Real change requires changing your goals. I don't mean surface level. Well, let's dig a bit deeper, because if you don't understand it only becomes more difficult to get out. I send out letters, you are where you want to be because you are afraid to be there. The important thing for you to remember is that it does not matter in the least how you got the idea or where it came from. You may never have met a professional hypnotist. You may never have been formally hypnotized, but if you have accepted an idea from yourself, your teachers, your parents, friends, advertisements, from any other source, and further, if you are firmly convinced that idea is true, it has the same power over you as the hypnotist's words have over the hypnotized subject. Interesting. The important thing for you to remember is that it does not matter in the least how you got the idea or where it came from. You may never have met a professional hypnotist, but you may never have been formally hypnotized, but if you have accepted an idea from yourself, your teachers, your parents, friends, advertisements, from any other source, or further, if you're firmly convinced that idea is true, it has the same power over you as the hypnotist's words have with the hypnotized subject. Really cool. Quick break. Okay, the city was looking beautiful. All right, we're back. Here's how you become who you are today and how you will become who you will be tomorrow. This is the anatomy of identity. You want to achieve a goal. You perceive reality through the lens of that goal. You only notice important information and ideas that allows you to achieve that goal. You act toward that goal and receive feedback that you are progressing toward it. You repeat that behavior until it becomes automatic and unconscious conditioning. You want to achieve a goal. You perceive a reality through the lens of that goal. You only notice important information and ideas that allows you to achieve that goal. You act toward that goal and receive feedback that you're progressing toward it. You repeat that behavior until it becomes automatic and unconscious conditioning. That behavior becomes a part of who you think you are. I'm the type of person who... You defend your identity to maintain psychological consistency. Your identity shapes new goals, restarting the cycle, and if that identity is disadvantageous toward a good life, this gets bad very quick. That behavior becomes a part of who you think you are. You defend your identity to maintain psychological consistency. Your identity shapes new goals, restarting the cycle, and if that identity is disadvantageous toward a good life, this gets bad very quick. The unfortunate reality is that you must break the cycle between step 6 and 7. But this process starts when you are a child. Okay, this is really cool. What we just read. It's really important to actually keep updating things and keep thinking what is the most natural, truer form that comes to your mind. Okay. You must break the cycle between step 6 and 7, but this process starts when you are a child. You have the goal of survival. You are dependent on your parents to teach you how to survive. You have to conform, and since the way most people teach is through reward and punishment. Let's make it a little bit tighter. Yes, just a little tighter. Micro screen capture. Move a little down, and this looks nicer. Parfait. Okay. You depend on your parents on how to survive. You had to confirm, and since the way most people teach is through reward and punishment, unless you adopt their beliefs and values, you'll be punished. You don't actually think for yourself until you see through this. But your parents have also gone through this process throughout their entire lives. That's where it can get dangerous. Your parents, unless they broke the pattern themselves, were conditioned by the culturally accepted idea of success from the industrial age. They also carry the best and worst conditioning from their parents and their parents' parents. To take it a layer deeper, once you fulfill your physical survival needs, which is quite easy to do in today's world, you're practically born into safety. You start to survive on the conceptual or ideological level. You may not try to protect and reproduce your body, but you absolutely protect and reproduce your mind. Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about this. Some animations, some imaginations start coming into mind. And this is also the reason why reading is much more important, because when you're watching a film, what's actually happening is you have a clear image of someone else's interpretation of reality. With physical stuff, yes, it's only what's physically possible, but you still couldn't translate the mental thoughts. Now with AI, you can actually translate the mental images that people are creating in their mind. Like, I just had a mental image in my mind when I read that one sentence, but I cannot create that. I cannot physically film that. I don't like earlier. Yeah, in physical reality, I don't have the tools to do that. But now with AI, you can actually describe, refine, somehow do that. That would be really cool with Neuralink. If Neuralink can actually, you can plug in Neuralink and you can be like, yeah, create this, this is how it looks like. It can translate that exact image, that your exact imagination into reality. That would be really cool. But anyways, let's keep going. You start to survive on the conceptual ideological level. You may not try to protect and reproduce your body, but you absolutely protect and reproduce your mind. It's not difficult to see the war of ideas on the internet, and the participants are individual and group identities. When your body feels threatened, you go into fight or flight. When your identity feels threatened, when your body feels threatened, you go into fight or flight. When your identity feels threatened, the same thing happens. Wow, it's just 5 p.m., but I feel like we have done so much work. If you are heavily identified with the political ideology, by the process we talked about just before, you will feel threatened when someone challenges your beliefs. You literally feel the stress. You feel emotionally like you were just slapped in the face. Since most people don't analyze their emotions for truth, you tend to get stuck in the echo chambers and double down on claims that harm yourself and others. If you were raised in a religious household, you did not think for yourself. You will fight and attack others who threaten your psychological safety within that little bubble. The same thing happens when you unconsciously see yourself as a lawyer, a gamer, or somebody else who would not take the actions to achieve a better life. Wow. Entrepreneur, art and business. The same thing happens when you unconsciously see yourself as a lawyer, a gamer, or somebody else who would not take the actions to achieve a better life. The life you want lies within a specific level of mind. The mind evolves through predictable stages over time. When you are born, you are like a little survival sponge that absorbs whatever beliefs you can, which are heavily dictated by your culture, so that you can feel safe and secure. And if you don't be careful, your mind may crystallize, and it may make it difficult to live a meaningful life. This has been documented enough in models like Maslow's hierarchy, Greuter's stages of ego development, spiral dynamics. Spiral dynamics is something that he keeps talking about, and I have no idea. What is spiral dynamics? An integral theory, each building off of one another, but it's also not difficult to observe in society. How people, societies, and organizations evolve in stages as life conditions change. It's not about intelligence or morality, it's about what problems you're optimized to solve. The origin story. Humans don't just change beliefs, they change entire meaning systems. Complete worldview. The core idea. People evolve through predictable stages of consciousness in response to increasing Life complexity. You don't choose a stage, you grow into it when your current worldview stops working. The spiral, stage by stage. Beige, survival. Can I stay alive? Instinct, food, shelter, safety. Seen in infants, extreme trauma, famine. Purple, tribe and belonging. Am I protected by a group? Tradition, rituals, family, superstition, clans, gangs, inherited beliefs. Power and ego. How do I assert myself? Dominance, impulse, strength, honor. Warlords, crime cultures, hyper-ego phases. Order and meaning. What rules give life meaning? Discipline, morality, authority, sacrifice. Religion, bureaucracy, nationalism. Achievement and rationality. How do I win the game? Logic, science, progress, capitalism, status via success. Seen in startups, markets, modern productivity culture. How do I win the game? Achievement and rationality. Logic, science, progress, capitalism, status via success. Equality and empathy. How do we reduce harm? Wow. How do I win the game? Wow, that's really cool. Community, feelings, inclusion, relativism. Seen in social justice movements, therapy culture. Equality, empathy. How do we reduce harm? Community, feelings, inclusion, relativism. Wow, turquoise is my favorite color. Okay. Blue, order and meaning. So blue is right now my favorite color. That's very interesting. You go from beige, purple, red, power and ego, to blue, meaning. You go to orange, how do I win the game? Then green, then yellow, systems and integration. Whoa. How do these systems interact? I've been thinking about systems a lot. Okay. Flexibility, self-authorship, complexity thinking, seen in system thinkers, polymaths, meta-creators. How do we reduce harm? Community, feelings, inclusion, relativism, social justice movements, therapy culture, systems and integration. How do these systems interact? Flexibility, self-authorship, complexity. This is also similar to the 9 ego development stages. Yes, exactly, this one. Stages of ego development. Self-authorship, complexity thinking, system thinkers, polymaths, meta-creators, wholeness and unity. How does everything cohere? Collective intelligence. Wow. I think about tribe intelligence a lot, like something that we would see in crypto conferences. Like everybody is going, that there's a group chat. Everybody's going out constantly for that 1 week. Everybody's going out to the best parties and everything, and then everybody in that group chat feeds the tribal intelligence or the tribal knowledge that, hey, here in this place is the best party right now, so come over here. Then everybody takes an Uber over there. So it's pretty fun. It's, that's where collective intelligence or tribal knowledge comes from. Spirituality plus systems, rare, often transitional, not well defined. Okay, so very interesting. Can I stay alive? Am I protected by my group? How do I assert myself? What rules give life meaning? How do I win the game? How do we reduce harm? How do these systems interact? How does everything cohere? Cohere. I think Cohere is a good name for that AI startup, because again, you're all talking about how does everything come together. Wow. Collective intelligence, spirituality, systems, rare, often transitional, not well defined. You don't skip stages. Each stage solves real problems. I think I really identify with this thing right now. What rules give meaning? Discipline, morality, authority, sacrifice, religion, bureaucracy. What rules give life meaning? How do I win the game? How do we reduce harm? I do think about this a lot. I have started to think about how everything comes together. Each stage solves real problems. Skipping creates fragility and delusion. No stage is better morally. Later stages are more complex, not more virtuous. You can regress. Stress, trauma, or threat can drop you down the spiral. Yes. Conflict happens between stages, not people. Most political and cultural fights are worldview mismatches, not disagreements on facts. Most arguments are people talking past each other. Different truths apply at different levels. Systems thinking beats ideology. Identity is a lens, not a fact. Often without the label. Danko, for example, uses it implicitly when he talks about identity as an operating system, levels of mind, outgrowing socially assigned goals, moving from achievement to integration. Is this person right or wrong? What problem is this worldview trying to solve? Yes, yes, yes. So what people are truly going for is turquoise. I always love the color turquoise. This is cool. This is cool. Wow. Look at this, so beautiful. So beautiful. Turquoise, amazing. Okay, we're back. It's good to also, if you want to go really deep, you want to also understand if you like what someone is saying, it's really important to understand even their sources, because they have also trained their mind to learn from something, because our minds are basically just sponges. So Dan Coe has just spent his sponge to consume all this information, and then his brain, his sponge made those syntheses or made those connections. So it's very interesting to also go to the, the direct source of information. There's something I do want to turquoise, pretty cool. All right, where are we at? Spiral dynamics, where was it? Right here. Integral theory, each building off one another. The life you want lies within a specific level of mind. The mind evolves through predictable series over time. I've talked about these many times, synthesize them into my own Human 3.0 model with various AI prompts to uncover your level of development. Human 3.0 model. A map to reach the top 1%. Mid-consciousness, traits, phases, dissonance, uncertainty, discovery, traits, knowledge, experience, skill, vocation, collective physical world, spirit, collective mental world. How does one balance development in all quadrants, especially if one quadrant exhausts a lot of time, focus, and energy? The ultimate goal is to create a lifestyle and all quadrants are accounted for through problem solving. If your vocation consumes too much of your time so that your mind is distraught, you are too drained for your body and cannot entertain spirit, that is an obvious problem that you must attempt to solve through the knowledge and skill acquisition, creating the chance for a channel. One may study business opportunities for an hour every day and make some time for practice. It may take longer than someone else, but once you begin moving through the phases, you feel more confident that you can decrease or completely eliminate the current job that is taking up your time. That shift may make another problem more apparent, like having low energy or not being respected by potential clients and customers. Reaching the next level of business may not require more development in business, but in solving problems related to the body, mind, or spirit. Body, mind, spirit. Health, wealth, relationships. Body, mind, spirit. It's interesting. So health, wealth, relationships is external? No. Health, wealth, relationships. Are these two different frameworks? Body, mind, spirit. Even then, you may build an incredible business and have all the money in the world, but you can have a hole in the middle of your chest due to a lack of meaning in your vocational pursuits. By the simple nature of problem solving and staying vigilant of distractions that prevent you from noticing them, you create a lifestyle where work becomes play, health is your default state, meaning is abundant, and your mind is on your side. No longer lives by a script and is close to construct level awareness. Body ungroomed and has poor habits, but occasionally exudes confidence. Spirit believes in there in the literal interpretation of God, but is tolerant of atheist friends and peers. Vocation has a valuable set of education and skills, but is focused on a safe and fulfilling career. If we were to map more than just 3 archetypes for quadrants, this would become a lot more complex and comprehensive, but we will save that for future letters. The outlier. In brief, this is someone who has drifted away from mainstream patterns without rebellion, operating from a countercultural lens. They don't care about their appearance, but this may be false transformation as they lack experience in the body quadrant. A Bible thumper with lack of knowledge and experience beyond their childhood conditioning finds it difficult to take a mystic seriously, and the mystic often holds the same truths, but from a more comprehensive perspective. IQ bell curve meme. The DM experience prepares for 30 hours, has every book available. Make sure to have a statistically adequate amount of PC spotlight. Just move around. Crazy. Okay. Letters.danco. That's his Substack, future proof. Recommendations, Signal, Tim Denning, Bonesaw. I feel like he have picked up, or he picked who he wants Substack to show to potential readers over here. Okay, let's see. This one got 408 likes. This one got 1,200. Okay. Do this before 2026. 2468 likes. And this one got 7K. So obviously, even for Danco, the X is performing way better than Substack, so he's hooked. Okay. Level of developments on a path forward. Open in a tab to read after if you like, but here's the 80-20 of the 9 stages of ego development as a refresher, because repetition helps reveal things you didn't notice before, and there are new people reading these letters. Oh, it goes like this. Okay. Wow. All quadrants, level stages, states, lines, types. Impulsive. Impulses rule reflexes, avoid pain and danger, seek pleasure, safety and release. So we are going for the color purple, turquoise, violet, ultraviolet, overmind, clear light. Oh my god, you're going for white. What we're truly going for is white, where everything combines, everything is one. Wow, that does make sense. Impulsive. Impulses, rule reflexes, avoid pain and danger, seek pleasure, safety and release. Red, opportunist, self-protector. Needs, rule impulses, egocentric, focus on own needs, self-interest, self-protection. Might makes right. Others as means to an end, not seen as persons in their own right. Amber, this is very interesting. Because when you're young, you want to focus on yourself because you're selfish. When you grow older, you want to focus on yourself because you want others to improve, but for others to improve, you can only help others when you help yourself. So it's the same thing. You're doing the same thing, but it's the same thing as Mystic versus Bible Thumper. The same thing he has said. It's like when you're young, you want to focus on yourself because you are selfish. So you focus on yourself. When you're older, you want to focus on yourself because You want to help others, and the best way to help others is to focus on yourself. Because you are doing two things. Number one, you are pushing your boundaries, so you are gaining more knowledge about you are pushing yourself, and you are gaining more knowledge and clearing the path for others. And number two, because you are pushing yourself, people look at you, they look up to you, that, oh, this is what it looks like. Diplomat, conformist, norms, rule, needs, concrete operations, socially acceptable behavior, self-value as belonging and adhering to group norms, authority and approval, expert, self-conscious, craft, logic, rules, norms, abstract operations, third-person perspective, focus on effectiveness, craft, expertise. There is a correct view. Expert, self-conscious, discover your personhood separate from group identification but embedded in a correct view as given by craft authorities. Achiever, system effectiveness, rules, craft, logic, formal operations, third-person perspective, expanded in linear time, focus on scientific method, objective, measurable reality, laws, control, results, goals, plans, self as self-chosen belief system, ideology. Individualist, pluralist, radical relativism, rules, single system view, fourth-person perspective, aware of multiple perspectives, multiple competing systems, discovery of unique subjective reality, unique experience of many selves in multiple contexts. Wow. Radical relativism, rules, single system view, fourth-person perspective, aware of multiple perspectives, multiple competing systems, discovery of unique subjective reality, unique experience of many selves with multiple contexts. Teal, strategist, autonomous, higher principles, rule, relativism, aware of system, interrelatedness, interdependence, fourth-person perspective, expanded in historical time, experience of enduring core self. I don't know why this reminds me, like system independence reminds me of the fact that we looked into USPS, United States Postal Service, and they said that how they became kind of a welfare system, because as people became more isolated, people stopped talking to their neighbors a lot. If a male person, if a carrier keeps going to a house and if they see there's a lot of mails that person hasn't picked up, that a lot of mails that person hasn't picked up, they know that something's wrong, and then they call the police or they call the emergency services. So that was pretty good. That was a really interesting way of looking at system interdependence, of how even USPS looks at their work. Because the more you do your work, the more you start attaching meaning to it, and the more you find other interesting ways to interpret your work, that how you play in this big picture, what is the role that you play in this big picture, in this big world, let's say. Magician, construct aware, deep processes, rule, principles, fifth-person perspective, cross-historical, global view, interplay of awareness, action, thought, and feeling and body, focus on conscious awareness and transformation, aware of self as storied, as a fiction, as ongoingly created, ironist, unitive, intersystemic evolution, rules, process, perspectival, witness self, capacity to simultaneously be aware of ego identifications throughout the spiral without identifying with them exclusively, powerful action, non-action without attachment to outcome, compassion for evolution and the joy and suffering of individuation in existence. Wow. V, culture, worldview, meaning, art, music, morality, values, intersubjective, corporate culture, political values, community values, its interior, individual, interior, exterior, group, social system, economics, environment, interobjective systems, chaos theories, Marx, Capra, Maturana, deep ecology, web of life, marketing, contribution, it, brain organism, behavioral, objective science, empiricism, behaviorism, physics, biology, neurology, statistics, goals, the facts, I, self-consciousness, intentional, subjective, contemplative, 3-to-1 shadow work, Psychology, spirituality, purpose, values, calling. What is 3-1 shadow work? No. I said 3-1, not 3:1. The hero journey chart, call to adventure, meeting a mentor, crossing the threshold, normal world, gets gift, return changed, end. The hero's journey chart, unknown, crossing threshold, trials plus failure, helper, growth, new skills, death plus rebirth, revelation, finally changes, atonement, gets gift. What is atonement? For every 1 unit of shadow exploration, you need 3 units of constructive action or integration. Conceptually, Carl Jung's confronting the shadow without grounding can inflate, destabilize, or fragment the ego. Noticing a pattern, too much shadow work, rumination, nihilism, paralysis, too little repression, projection, repeating patterns. Set a boundary, ship work imperfectly, speak a truth, usually avoid skill, system building. New routines, environmental changes, set a boundary, do something concrete that contradicts the old pattern. Feedback loops, environmental changes, value, align, contribution. Use to reclaim energy in service of something larger, create, lead, teach, pull. Shadow work stays intellectual and sterile. Energy, psychic content. If you uncover it without integration, you over-identify with this is who I really am. Spiral into self-criticism or superiority. You stall instead of evolve. I procrastinate because I'm afraid of being judged. That's the one. Your 3 might be published anyway. Create a weekly shipping schedule. Help others share their work publicly. Contribution. Use the reclaimed energy in service of something larger. Create, lead, teach, build. Shadow work reveals the map. Integration is the journey. 3:1 keeps you moving instead of staring at the terrain. Wow. So action, system, contribution. Action, system, contribution. You have to do all 3 of them. Very interesting. Impulse, no separation between impulse and action, black and white thinking. Adler hits when angry because the feeling and the behavior are the same thing. Self-protective. The world is dangerous and you learn to look out for yourself. A kid learns to hide report cards, lie about chores, figure out what adults want to hear. Conformist. You are your group and its rules feel like reality itself. Someone who genuinely cannot fathom why anyone would vote differently than their family or group. Self-aware. You notice you have an inner self or inner life that doesn't match the exterior. Sitting in church and realizing you're not sure you believe what everyone around you seems to believe, but not knowing what to do with that feeling yet. Realizing you're not sure you believe what everyone around you seems to believe, but not knowing what to do with that feeling yet. Conscientious. You build your own system of principles and hold yourself accountable to them. Leaving your family's religion after careful study and adopting a personal philosophy you can defend, or building a career plan with clear milestones because you believe the right effort yields the right results. Individualist. You see that your principles were shaped by context and start holding them more loosely. Your political views have more to do with where you grew up than objective truth, or noticing that your ambitious career goals were really about earning your father's approval. Strategist. You work with systems while aware of your own involvement in them. Strategist. You work with systems while aware of your own involvement in them. Leading an organization while actively questioning your own blind spots, or engaging in politics, knowing your perspective is partial and shaped by bias you can't fully see. Strategist. You work with systems while aware of your own involvement in them. You see that your principles were shaped by context and start holding them more loosely. Realizing your political views are more to do with strategists. You work with systems while aware of your own involvement in them, leading an organization while actively questioning your own blind spots. Of your own involvement in them. Construct aware. You see all frameworks, including your identity, as useful fictions, holding your spiritual beliefs with metaphorically, not literally, knowing the map is not the territory, or watching yourselves play the role of founder or thought leader with a kind of gentle amusement, unitive, separation. You see, all frameworks including your identity as useful functions, holding a spiritual beliefs metaphorically, not literally. Unitive separation between self and life dissolves. Work, rest, and play feel like the same thing. There's no one left who needs to become something, just presence responding to what arises. I would assume you hover between 4 and 8, which is a huge gap. Those closer to 8 are reading this are doing so to either learn something or pass time in a non-destructive way. Those closer to 4 are really looking for a change. Learn something or pass time in a non-destructive way. Those closer to 4 are really looking for a change. You feel like you are meant for more, but you can't make sense of everything yet because there's obviously a lot at play. The good thing is, it doesn't really matter what stage you are in because moving through any of them follows a pattern. Intelligence is the ability to get what you want out of life. The only real test of intelligence is if you get what you want out of life. There is a formula for success. One ingredient is agency, one ingredient is opportunity, which many people like to mistake as privilege because they the other ingredients. The last ingredient is intelligence. If you have agency but low opportunity, it doesn't matter how likely you are to act toward a goal because it isn't a goal that will bear much fruit. If you have opportunity, it's because it isn't a goal that will bear much fruit. If you have opportunity, agency but low intelligence, then you will never be fully able to benefit from that opportunity. First, you talked about agency before here. In terms of opportunity, I can tell you to change your physical location. But if you don't see the abundance of digital opportunity right in front of you, I don't know what to tell you. With that said, I want to focus on what intelligence is in the context of these two other ingredients and this letter. For that, we look to cybernetics, Greek word kybernetikos, which means to steer or good at steering. It's also known as the art of getting what you want. Understanding cybernetics helps you do that much faster. Cybernetics illustrates the properties of intelligent systems. To have a goal, act toward that goal. Boat, steer right, steer left, lighthouse. Good at steering. To have a goal, act toward that goal, sense where you are compared to the goal, and act again based on that feedback. You can judge intelligence based on a system's ability to iterate and persist with trial and error. A ship blown off course that corrects toward its destination. A thermostat sensing a change in heat and turning on. Pancreas excreting insulin after blood glucose spikes. Everything. Acting, sensing, comparing, understanding the system from a meta perspective is fundamental to high intelligence. Iterate, persist, and understand the big picture. The mark of low intelligence is the inability to learn from your mistakes. Low intelligence people get stuck on problems rather than solving them. They hit a roadblock and quit, like a writer who fails to build a readership and quits because they lack the ability to try new things, experiment, and figure out a process that works for them, to think that there isn't an effective process. Realizing any problem can be solved on a large enough time scale. The reality is that you can achieve any goal you set your mind to. Realizing that there is a series of choices you can make which lead to achieving the goal you want. You understand that ideas are hierarchical and that you can go from Papyrus to Google Docs in one fell swoop. If that goal is impossible right now, you simply don't have the resources which may be invented over the next few years to achieve that thing. I'm not speaking from the typical lens of self-help, although that's a helpful lens to adopt at times. I'm speaking from the lens of teleology, Greek cosmos. Everything serves a purpose, that everything is part of a greater whole. Goals determine how you see the world. Goals determine what you consider success or failure. You can try to enjoy the journey, but if you pursue the wrong goal, you will not enjoy it. Your mind is the operating system of reality. That system is composed of goals. For most people, those goals are assigned to them, programmed like lines of code in your psyche. Go to school, get the job, get offended, play victim, retire 65. Wow. Program like lines of code in your psyche. Go to school, get the job, get offended, play victim, retire at 65. A known path that doesn't work. To become more intelligent, you must reject the known path, dive into the unknown, set new higher goals to expand your mind, embrace the chaos and allow for growth. Study the generalized principles of nature, become a deep generalist. I understand this may not be the traditional definition of intelligence, but that sequence of steps leads to an extraordinary level of connections in your brain, leading to what we would observe as an intelligent person. Pair that with agency and you have got a winner. I want to launch into a completely new life in one day. The best periods of my life always came after a period of getting absolutely fed up with the lack of progress I was making. How do you dig into your mind? How do you become aware of your conditioning? How do you reach profound insights and truths that change the trajectory of your life? Through the simple but often painful act of questioning, something that so few people do, and you can tell by how they speak or give their thoughts on a specific topic. Questioning is thinking, and very few people do it. I want to give you a comprehensive protocol that you can use every year to reset your life and launch into a season of intense progress. Macro to the micro, where you want to be, what you need to do to get there, and what you can do immediately to start moving. All right. We don't want our neck to hurt, so let's go. One full day to complete, so I recommend you follow along with the exact protocol. You need a pen, paper, and an open mind. When I observe patterns in people who successfully flip their identity, it happens fast after a build-up of tension. Specifically, I've noticed 3 phases we will tend to go through. Dissonance. They feel like they don't belong in their current life and become sufficiently fed up with their lack of progress. Uncertainty. They don't know what comes next, so they either experiment or get lost and feel worse. Discovery. They discover what they want to pursue and make 6 years of progress in 6 months. 6 years of progress in 6 months. We feel like we're going through the same changes. Let's go. Dissonance. They feel like they don't belong in the current life and become sufficiently fed up with their lack of progress. They don't know what comes next, so they either experiment or get lost and feel worse. So our goal with this protocol is to help you reach the point of dissonance, navigate through uncertainty, and discover what it truly is that you want to achieve, so much so that the clarity is overwhelming and distractions no longer hold their weight. Structure so that it can be completed in one day. In the morning, you do a psychological excavation to uncover your own hidden motives. During the day, you prompt yourself with interrupts to keep you out of autopilot and contemplate your life. At night, you synthesize the insights into a direction you will start to move in tomorrow. I can't guarantee that this will work for everyone, because I cannot guarantee that everyone reading this is in the right chapter of their own story that would make these points impactful. You can't place the climax at the start of the book and expect it to be interesting. Morning, psychological excavation, vision, and anti-vision. You must create a new frame or lens of perception for your mind to operate from. This is like creating a new shell, leaving your old one, slowly growing into it over time. It won't feel like it fits at first. That's a good thing. 15 to 30 minutes, the length of one YouTube video, you can do it, to think about and answer these questions. Do not attempt to outsource this contemplation to AI. I want you to break past the limiter that is on your mind. If you can't answer these immediately, come back to them later. Dull and persistent dissatisfaction you have learned to live with, not the deep suffering, but what you have learned to tolerate. If you don't hate it, you will tolerate it. Being around, not being courageous. What do you complain about repeatedly but never actually change? Write down the 3 complaints you've noticed most often in the past year. Go harder at work. How harder can you go at work? And one really cool thing is this new place. We finally did it. For each complaint, what would someone who watched your behavior, not your words, conclude that you actually want? Feel alive. Like you're winning. Feel like you're winning. Feel like you're winning. Feel like you're constantly changing. You're constantly evolving. Evolution. Wow. Wow. Okay. Rapid evolution. About your current life would be unbearable to admit to someone you deeply respect. Now we are good. We just gotta keep going. Now we are good. We just gotta keep going. We're gonna keep rapid evolution. Meant to make you aware of the pain in your current life. Now we need to turn those into what I call an anti-vision, which is a brutal awareness of the life you do not want to live. That way you can use that negative energy to aim your efforts in a positive direction and act from a place of intrinsic motivation. Where do you wake up? What does your body feel like? What's the first thing you think about? Who's around you? What do you do between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m.? How do you feel at 10 p.m.? If absolutely nothing changes, but we have made some certain changes, so where do you wake up? In the bed? What does your body feel like? Today I felt good. What's the first thing you think about? You think about opening your phone, but you also think about grabbing a coffee, going on a nice walk, straight, just jumping, going on a nice walk. What do you do between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m.? You work, make food, work. How do you feel at 10 p.m.? You feel accomplished. Okay. And do it but for 10 years. What have you missed? What opportunities closed? Who gave up on you? What do people say about? So, yeah, what would rapid evolution look like? Rapid evolution. Okay, but we are doing anti-vision. And do it for 10 years. What have you missed? What opportunities closed? Who gave up on you? What do people say about you when you are not in the room? You're at the end of your life. You lived the safe version. You never broke the pattern. What was the cost? What do you never let yourself feel, try, or become? What opportunities closed? Who gave up on you? What do people say about you when you are not in the room? You're at the end of your life. You lived the safe version. You never broke the pattern. What was the cost? What did you never let yourself feel, try, or become? I feel like I'm on the path, so it's harder to answer this question because we are on the right path now. Okay. Who in your life is already living the future you just described? Zach. I think Zach, because he is going after rapid evolution. He's going after rapid evolution. Someone 5, 10, 20 years ahead on the same trajectory. What do you feel when you think about becoming them? What identity would you have to give up to actually change? You are shipping rapid evolution. Rapid evolution. What would it cost you socially to no longer be that person? What is the most embarrassing reason you haven't changed? No, we were changing. There's a lot of foundational work that we had to do, a lot of slow work. When nothing shows up, it doesn't show up, but you are doing the work, you are on the right path. It just doesn't show up. The one that makes you sound weak, scared, or lazy rather than reasonable. Most embarrassing reason you haven't changed. The one that makes you sound courage, sound weak, scared, lazy rather than reasonable. If your current behavior is a form of self-protection, what exactly are you protecting? Protecting from criticism. Protecting from criticism. That you are going nowhere. And what is that protection costing you? That you are going nowhere. If you answer those truthfully, and if you are in the right chapter of your life, you will feel a deep sense of dis-ease. Wow. Dis-ease. And possibly disgust for how you are currently living now. We need to orient that energy in a positive direction. We need to create a minimum viable vision. Because your vision is like a product. It starts out unclear. Wow. It's pretty cool to do this do this live or record this, because you can come back to this. Okay. Currently living now, we need to orient that energy in a positive direction. We need to create a minimal viable vision, because your vision is like a product. It starts out unclear, but with time and experience it grows stronger and more potent. Forget practicality for a minute. If you could snap your fingers and be living a different life in 3 years, not what's realistic, what you actually want. What does an average Tuesday look like? Same level of detail as question 5. Okay, wake up at 5. Good walk, coffee, gym, alive, a lot of energy. Come back home, working, always in a good aesthetic, around good people, creating, enjoying the work, feeling a lot of energy. Ending the work, again talking to friends, talking to other smart people. Keep building, keep creating, experience new things. Yeah, art. Be around beautiful places, aesthetic places. Wow. Same level detail as question 5. What did I miss? Question 5. What does your body feel like? Energy. What's the first thing you think about? Doing more. Who's around you? Friends, partner, work. How do you feel? Create, not work. Creator. How do you feel at 10 p.m.? Accomplished, excited for tomorrow. First, what would you have to believe about yourself for that life to feel natural rather than forced? Right? The identity statement, I'm a type of person who is a creator, always creates, always energetic, has full control, and is excited for rapid evolution. Rapid shipping until you find the true self. It's very interesting. The same thing that we talk about in products works for yourself, your identity as well. In products, we say that, you have to keep shipping fast. You have to keep shipping so that you understand what is your true self, what is that true thing that you absolutely love. And the same thing happens with the identity. You have to do the same thing with your identity. You have to ship fast. You have to evolve fast. You have to keep making changes fast, so you understand that, so you can come faster to the truer self. If you're already that person. Interesting. Creator, rapid evolution. Rapid evolution. Part 2 throughout the day, interrupting autopilot, breaking unconscious patterns. These journaling exercises are cute, but we want real change. Frankly, that's not going to happen if you don't break the current unconscious patterns that are keeping you the same. Throughout the day, I want you to contemplate on everything you journal in part 1. Beyond that, I don't want you to forget to contemplate. Please take this seriously. You aren't going to change by doing the same thing for the rest of your life. You need to consciously force a pattern break. Why not to create reminders or calendar events in your phone? Include the question in the reminder or event so that you can immediately start thinking about it. The more random and non-conflicting your schedule they are, the better. 11 a.m. What am I avoiding right now? Non-conflicting with your schedule they are, the better. What am I avoiding right now by doing what I'm doing? If someone filmed the last 2 hours, what would they conclude I want from my life? Am I moving toward the life I hate or the life I want? What's the most important thing I'm pretending isn't important? What did I do today out of identity protection rather than genuine desire? It's most things you do. When did I feel most alive today? When did I feel most dead? Wow. During the times where you were either commuting, walking, or lying around, what would change if I stopped needing people to see me as the da-da-da-da-da? Or question 10. In my life, am I trading aliveness for safety? Creator and rapid evolution. Okay. So needing people to see me where in my life am I trading aliveness for safety? What's the smaller version of the person I want to become that I could be tomorrow? Evening synthesizing insight, entering a season of progress. If you follow that process, I would be surprised if you didn't have at least one profound insight that could alter the course of your life. Now we need to make those known, integrate them into who we are, act on them to begin solidifying our journey to a new level of mind. Out of today, what feels most true about why you have been stuck? I think it's not having a clear idea. Wow. Sometimes you're just really good. Just really good. Rapid evolution. Things are making sense. What is the actual enemy? Name it clearly. I think not. Clarity. Name it clearly. Not circumstances, not other people. The clear playbook. No clear playbook was the enemy. Because what you're truly going for is individuation. And individuation by definition means that is singularly you. No one else has done that before. So it's the confusion that then what I'm supposed to do. Single sentence captures what you refuse to let your life become. I refuse to let my life shrink. Shrink due to uncourage, due to no courage, due to no courage, due to timidity. Okay. This is your anti-vision compress. It should make you feel something when you read it. I refuse to let my life shrink due to timidity. Yes. A single sentence that captures what you are building toward, knowing it will evolve. This is your vision MVP. Wonderful state of childlike wonder and real-time creation. Rapid evolution. Yes. Lastly, we need to create goals. Again, these aren't goals that you set for the sake of achievement, because goals are just projections. They are unreliable and make you feel bound to something that will inevitably change. Instead, think of goals as the point of view, a lens that you can exchange to enter the right state of mind to perform the action that will lead away from the life you don't want. Do not worry about some kind of finish line, because as we will find, it doesn't exist. Enjoyment is found in progress. 1 year lens, what would have to be true in 1 year for you to know you have broken the old pattern, one concrete thing? Oh my god. I look at these same streams and I can see how much progress we have made in 2026. Wow. By 31st December 2026, I would be going crazy that how much progress we have made this year. 1 month lens, what would have to be true in 1 month for the 1 year lens to remain possible? Okay. Routine. Get into the zone, get into the highly efficient state that I want, which is basically start cooking, start spending more time in the state. Get into your normal zone where you got everything over here, you are self-sufficient. Daily lens, what are the 2-3 actions that you can time block tomorrow that the person you're becoming would simply do? State of creation, rapid evolution. That was a lot. Rapid evolution. Yes. If we do 2 streams per day, maybe we can get to 3 streams per day. These are all rapid evolutions. These are all rapid evolutions that we are doing now. Hopefully it was helpful. But we have one last piece to lock it all in. Stick with me. Turn your life into a... Yeah, exactly. This is what the name I was thinking about for WisprFlow to try. Turn your life into a video game. The optimal state of inner experience is one in which there is order in consciousness. This happens when psychic energy, or the optimal state of inner experience is one in which there is order in consciousness. This happens when psychic energy or attention is invested in realistic goals, and when skills match the opportunities for action. And when skills match... Wow. So many ideas. Yes, let's go. The optimal state of inner experience is one in which there is order in consciousness. This happens when psychic energy or attention is invested in realistic goals, and when skills match the opportunities for action. The pursuit of a goal brings order in awareness, because a person must concentrate attention on the task at hand and momentarily forget everything else. The optimal state of inner experience is one in which there is order in consciousness. This happens when psychic energy or attention is invested in realistic goals, and when skills match the opportunities for action. The pursuit of a goal brings order in awareness because a person must concentrate attention on the task at hand and momentarily forget everything else. You now have all the components that lead to a good life. Now it may be helpful to organize all of your insights into one coherent plan. Pull out a new page. Write down these 6 components. Anti-vision. What is the bane of my existence, or the life I never want to experience again? I refuse the life of timidity. Life I refuse to live. I refuse to live life. Oh, actually, I refuse to let my life shrink due to timidity. Shrink of timidity. Shrink due to timidity. Because of timidity. Okay. Vision. What is the ideal life that I think I want and can improve as I work toward it? Creation. Wonder. Creation. Evolution. Wonder, creation, evolution. Ooh, scared. Wonder, creation, evolution. Let's go. One year goal. What will my life look like in 1 year time? And is that closer to the life I want? Yes. What do I need to learn? What skills do I need to acquire? What can I build that will move me closer to the 1 year goal? Deleverage. What are the priority needle moving tasks that bring my project closer to completion? What am I not willing to sacrifice to achieve my vision from the ground up? What am I not willing to sacrifice? Whoa. What am I not willing to sacrifice? Everything should just fall in place. Everything should just fall in place. Constraints. Everything will fall in place. Why is it so powerful? Because these components literally create. Daily levers are the streams. Wonderful state. Wonder and creation. Because these components literally create your own little world. If you're meant to pursue this hierarchy of goals at this stage of your life, you will have no other options but to become obsessed. You will feel the pull to something greater. You will not see anything else as an option. You turn your life into a video game because games are the poster child for obsession, enjoyment, and flow states. They have all the components that lead to focus and clarity. So if we reverse engineer what these components are, we can live in a state of deeper enjoyment, less distractions, and more success. Your vision is how you win, at least until the game evolves. Wow, 8K while we were reading. Your anti-vision is what's at stake. What happens if you lose or give up? Your 1 year goal is the mission. This is your sole priority in life. Your anti-vision is what at stake. What happens if you lose or give up? Your 1 year goal is the mission. Your 1 month project is the boss fight. How you gain XP and acquire loot. Your daily levers are the quest. The daily process that unlocks new opportunities. Your constraints are the rules, the limitations that encourage creativity. Constraints would be here. No traveling. Here, right here. Coffee walks, yes. 2 times at least. All of these act as a concentric set of circles, like a force field that guard your mind from distractions and shiny objects. The more you play the game, the stronger this force becomes, and soon enough it becomes who you are, and you wouldn't have it any other way. The more you play the game, the stronger this force becomes, and soon enough it becomes who you are, and you wouldn't have it any other way. The more you play the game, the stronger this force becomes, and soon enough it becomes who you are, and you wouldn't have it any other way. Okay, I like that. Force field that guards your mind from distraction and shiny objects. Okay, we'll add this one. Quote text. Author name. Danko. Parfait.